northern shore of Lake Ontario, north of the 49th parallel in Toronto, Canada. Our setting, Woodbine Racetrack, one of the finest horse racing facilities in the world. And tonight, this new course for action presents the closing chapter of the 1995 Cadillac Breeders' Crown. Well, it may be early November, but it is already bitter cold in Canada. Temperatures expected to be near the freezing level. There is a hint of flurries in the forecast. And now the 3-year-old Colt Pacers live at Woodbine, making their way onto the track for the post parade for tonight's final race. And this always the glamour race in this division when you talk about the 3-year-old Colts in the Cadillac Breeders' Crown. Once again, they will go a mile. The purse is big, $605,000, and it does have a superstar in Jenna's Beach Boy.
And Jenna's Beach Boy should be on the front end here. No reason to get himself in trouble. He is the best horse in this field, in my opinion. And if you're the best horse, that's the place you should be.
Number one of the post parade is Yo 11 Low.
Well, a crapshoot at best for this colt, who has wishfully been spotted in this field after a solid second place finish to Nick's Fantasy in Kentucky. Now, if he's to be a factor at all, Bruce, he'll need a career best performance.
Driver Ron Waples, 9 Breeders' Crown victories to his credit. The driver is Canadian and U.S. Hall of Famer, although he's never won the 3-year-old Colt Pace. Number 2 is Keystone Lowdown.
A son of 1984 Breeders' Crown winner, Dragon's Lair. This long shot hopeful did capture the New York Sire Stakes final in September and did finish fast in a Crown Prep race here last week. He's a late bloomer who has shown high-class potential.
Pilot Doug Brown, the leading driver on the Ontario Jockey Circuit for the 7th straight year. Number 3 is Stand Forever.
Seems to be in a great spot here for getting the trip behind the favorite. This is trainer Bob Kolachik's first Breeders' Crown starter.
Jack Moiseyev is in the bike. He's won 2 Breeders' Crown races, both with 2-year-old Colt Pacers. Will he do it tonight with a 3-year-old? Number 4, Jenna's Beach Boy.
The fastest 3-year-old harness horse in history, defending Cadillac Breeders' Crown champ. And according to trainer Joe Holloway, in the best form of his career right now. No 3-year-old has ever beaten him, and that's not likely to change tonight.
The driver, Bill Fay, was in the bike last year when Jenna's Beach Boy won the 2-year-old Colt Pace. Tonight, he hopes for another beach party. Number 5 is Liz Ryan.
He's made the most of an exclusive stakes schedule, which has seen him take on almost all of these horses in stakes action each week. Just 2 wins this year and none in his last 15 starts.
Steve Condren gets the assignment. He won his first Breeders' Crown last month with 2-year-old trotting colt Armbro Officer. Number 6 is Matt Gilla-Gorilla.
He won a leg of this year's Triple Crown, the Cane Pace at Yonkers in August, and hasn't had the best of racing luck this year. He's coming off a win against much lesser foes and could take a share tonight with a good trip.
Bill Gale pilots the Gorilla. He won this race in 1991 with 3 Wizards. Will lightning strike twice? Number 7 is Hensel Hanover.
A regular on the OJC circuit, the son of Albatross upset Nick's Fantasy in last week's Crown Prep race. He likes the big track and has a good closing kick, but unless he gets involved early from post 7, he's not going to make things happen.
The driver, Mike Saftik, won his first Breeders' Crown this year with the sensational mare pacer Elimoni. Number 8 is Nick's Fantasy.
Well, he was awesome, Bruce, in winning this year's Little Brown Jug in record time, and then followed that up with sensational miles in Lexington. But since then, he's been bothered by an upper respiratory infection. However, he trained Wednesday morning and appears to be back on track. Driver
John Campbell has won this division only once in 1993 with Life Sign. Number 9 is Jody's Can.
Yeah, he was involved in a scary accident in the Little Brown Jug this past September, but came right back in his next start to win in a personal best 151-2.
Mike LeChance won this Breeders' Crown division last year with Magical Mike. Tonight, he guns for his 13th Breeders' Crown victory. Number 10 in the post parade is Powerful Structure, and there is Powerful Structure.
He won a heat of the Little Brown Jug and has since followed that up with some quality miles. He's at his best making one big move and is well suited to the big track, but post 10 certainly won't help him here.
This will be the 4th Breeders' Crown drive for Ohio native David Miller, one of North America's winningest driver over the past 5 years. And completing the field, number 11, Village Connection.
He made much of his big bucks this year racing on a half-mile track and is the winningest horse in the field with 14 victories. The Camfella Colt is a front-end specialist, but from the second tier tonight, his best bet will likely to be coming from off the pace.
Ontario's own Paul McDonnell, a sensational percentage in the Breeders' Crown with 4 wins in 16 drives. Gary, the story here is Jenna's Beach Boy.
Indeed it is. You know, Bruce, Jenna's Beach Boy has had his highs and lows in 1995. 1995. He came back to the races in September, and when he came back with a vengeance, and he came back stronger than ever. When Jenna's Beach Boy captured the 1994 Cadillac Breeders' Crown at Woodbine, the victory clinched freshman divisional honors. That made for high expectations as Jenna's Beach Boy prepared for his 3-year-old campaign. Trainer Joe Holloway thought that Lee and Linda DeVister's champion homebred Colt might just turn out to be a horse for the ages, and his performances this spring certainly accentuated such optimism. He won his first 6 starts against divisional rivals by a combined 26 lengths, including this impressive romp in the $500,000 New Jersey Classic at the Meadowlands. With the $1 million North America Cup and the Meadowlands Pace coming up on the schedule, all was going according to plan. But then disaster struck the night of the North America Cup eliminations at Woodbine. Not just for Jenna's Beach Boy, but for perhaps the second best colt in the division, stablemate No Standing Around.
Well, the night of the elims, I mean, everything come crashing down. Jenna went out and he was sore, and I just couldn't bear to race him. You know, if it was the last race of the year, I probably would have raced him. And I know he'd have gone through it because he'd do anything you asked. But where you're looking at the rest of his career, I couldn't do it. So we had to scratch him. And shortly after I made the decision to scratch him, we went out and warmed up No Standing Around. And he started coughing and he was sick.
Jenna's Beach Boy suffered a hairline fracture of his right hind leg and was out of action indefinitely. No Standing Around's illness would result in death. It was a crushing blow, but Holloway had no other choice but to look towards the fall schedule and remain optimistic that Jenna would be back.
I just always knew that the horse would come back, and I never thought No Standing Around was going to be as sick as what it turned into. I guess maybe it would have been a little bit tougher. I mean, things just kept developing that way, but I always knew Jenna would come back, and I knew he'd come back as good or better than ever.
And he certainly has been that, winning all 4 of his starts since coming back in mid-September, including this sensational performance at the Red Mile in Kentucky, where he won by 12.5 lengths in a time of 1:48 4/5, the fastest race mile ever clocked by a 3-year-old. After that record, the eyes of Jenna's Beach Boy and his connections were focused on the Breeders' Crown and possible Harness Horse of the Year honors.
He has a shot at it. He definitely does. I mean, I think right now it is between he and Susie, and he has to dominate. He just doesn't have to win. He has to dominate and clearly show he's one of the great racehorses.
Will Jenna's Beach Boy do what Annihilator did in '85? Camptastic did in '88? Goalie Jeff in '89? Beach Towel in '90? We'll find out when we come back. Jenna's Beach Boy.
Well, not much of a doubt in my mind, Bruce. I think he is the best colt in this field, and I think he's the one to beat. If any horse is going to beat him, it might be this one, number 8, Nick's Fantasy for John Campbell. And what a duo that's going to be here. Nick's Fantasy, again, had some problems with an upper respiratory infection, but according to trainer Bob Ritchie, he's getting back into good shape.
He was 1 for 15 from January through July, 8 for 11 since, and he won the Little Brown Jug. Number 4, Jenna's Beach Boy. The driver is Bill Fay.
Jenna's Beach Boy, again, this horse has experienced some rough times as well this year. As we mentioned earlier, he had a hairline fracture of his right pastern bone, pastern bone in the right hind leg, and is
easy
100%.
For you to say.
Yeah, exactly. Easy to say, and I think he's going to be an easy winner.
10 for 11 this year, 9 in a row. That's Gary Seibel's pick, the defending Breeders' Crown champion. A look at the current odds. Jenna's Beach Boy, well, the public agrees with you, Gary, 1-5.
I'm not surprised, Bruce. Again, the best.
Let's see what the odds are with Nick's Fantasy currently being held second choice at 7-2. They are on the gate for the 3-year-old Colt Pace of the Cadillac Breeders' Crown. This always the big race. Here's a look at the track record. Pacific Rocket world record. Jenna's Beach Boy 1:48 the stake record set by the great Beach Towel 1:51. A purse of $605,000. The 3-year-old Colt Pace, the final crown race of 1995. Here's track announcer Frank Salib.
They're off and pacing. On a break, leaving and not getting to the gate was Jody's Cam. Jenna's Beach Boy is being sent for the lead. Stand Forever on his inside, and Yo 11 Low is going with them. Keystone Lowdown tucks in from 4th. There's Nick's Fantasy 5th on the outside, just to the outside of Liz Ryan and Village Connection, then Macula Gorilla. Hensel Hanover, Powerful Structure, distanced and out of it after a break at the gate was Jody's Cam. Jenna's Beach Boy sent to the lead. A huge opening quarter into the strong west wind of 26 seconds flat, but Jenna's Beach Boy now getting the respect on the front end as they turn down the backstretch. Following in to be second is Stand Forever. Yo 11 Low is 3rd. Keystone Lowdown is 4th, and Village Connection came on to be 5th on the inside. Nick's Fantasy starts first over from 6th, hoping to get some cover in front of him. Liz Ryan is in behind Nick's Fantasy on the outside, then Macula Gorilla, Powerful Structure. Hensel Hanover is 10th. Out of it is Jody's Cam. 55-4 the halftime. They move to the last turn with Jenna's Beach Boy on top by 2. The next closest pursuer is Stand Forever. 3 more lengths to Yo 11 Low. Keystone Lowdown moves out from 4th. Nick's Fantasy 5th on the outside. Village Connection is 6th. Powerful Structure blocked at the inside 7th. Then Liz Ryan, Macula Gorilla, and Hensel Hanover. Jody's Cam is distanced and trailing. Jenna's Beach Boy past 3/4 on top by an expanding 3 on Stand Forever. 1:23-2. An amazing third quarter of 27-4. Jenna's Beach Boy with 1/8 of a mile to go, and Bill Fay is just sitting on him at this stage. Village Connection is shaken loose and is coming on to be second. Liz Ryan and Keystone Lowdown are moving well. Jenna's Beach Boy comes to the finish. He'll win it by about 1.25 over Village Connection. Liz Ryan was 3rd. Keystone Lowdown 4th. Nick's Fantasy was 5th. 1:52-4. A thoroughly convincing victory on a cold night for Jenna's Beach Boy.
What a marvelous training job by Joe Holloway. Jenna's Beach Boy made it look easy. The 3-year-old Bay Colt by Beach Towel out of the Camp Bella Mare. 5 o'clock Cindy.
Bruce, I love when I'm right, along with thousands of other people here at the track that like Jenna's Beach Boy as well. A huge 26-second opening quarter, and here he is after that mile and some big fractions on a very, very cold night. Bill Fay takes a look behind him to see if anybody's coming. They still have a ways to go, but he knows that Jenna's Beach Boy is in full command here. Just a couple of taps just to let him know that he's got a little bit longer to go to the wire. Closing strongly, Village Connection, he won't get there. Jenna's Beach Boy stamps himself as the best this year.
Owned and bred by Lee and Linda DeVisser of Holland, Michigan. Jenna's Beach Boy with back-to-back Breeders' Crown. Don't go away. More coming up from Woodbine. Welcome back to Woodbine Racetrack. A marvelous showing by Jenna's Beach Boy to win the 3-year-old Colt Pace and the Cadillac Breeders' Crown. And only Camptastic successfully defended a Breeders' Crown title at 3 after winning as a 2-year-old in the Colt Pace. And now he's got pretty good company in Jenna's Beach Boy, who becomes the 9th pacer to win 2 Breeders' Crowns. The last horse to win consecutive crowns at the same track, the great Miss Easy at Pompano in 1990 and 91. Jenna's Beach Boy hasn't lost a race to a horse his age in 469 days, going back to July 21st of 1994. Amazing. Let's go to Gary Seibel.
All right, joining me in the winner's circle right now is winning driver Bill Fay. Billy, first quarter, 26 seconds on a night like this, fast.
Yeah, he was fired up. He's never been like that going behind the gate. He was grabbing on pretty good. And usually he'll go up to it and settle down and stay about a foot off. But tonight he was all business.
All right, we're going to take a look at that momentarily coming up on the final turn anyhow. But I'll tell you what, those fractions were huge. 27-4 in that third quarter after that 26-second first quarter. And nobody took a shot, or maybe nobody could take a shot after those fractions.
Well, they probably thought I had set in my mind to go down the road, which I did, but after a quarter like that, I was surprised myself somebody didn't move because we weren't going very much down the backside.
And turning for home, you had about 2-3 lanes here. What are you thinking?
No, I was happy, half an lane. I knew he was going to hang on. I was a little worried around going in the last turn. He was just felt a little bit tired to me, but he had a right to be.
Looks like you just gave him a couple of taps just to let him know he had a little bit farther to go.
I never hit him. I switched the whip a couple times at him, but I don't think I hit him. I can't remember.
All right, regular pilot of Jenna's Beach Boys, certainly the best this year. Billy, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, right now we're going to send it back to Bruce Beck.
4 Breeders' Crowns wins now for Bill Fay of Manalapan, New Jersey. It's a beach party at Woodbine. Jenna's Beach Boy wins it. The winner's circle right now is filled with the supporters of Jenna's Beach Boy. Back to Gary Seibel.
All right, joining me in the winner's circle right now, the winning owners of Jenna's Beach Boy, Lee and Linda DeVisser. And Lee, you guys have had some ups and downs this year in the sport of harness racing. This has to be a crowning moment for you.
This is a very crowning moment. To have the family here and to have Jenna race that good tonight, that was fantastic. Great win for us.
Tell us about this Colt. What happens to him next? Where does he go? What's his schedule for next year, 1996?
Well, you know something, we're going to the Windy City next week. And after that, we got the Provincial Cup. And, you know, a friend told me today, it's hard to get a great horse like this. I think we're going to enjoy him one more year as a 4-year-old. Bring him back and let him race one more year.
Well, you're going to get everybody in agreement there. Here you see him coming down the stretch. Look how tough he is. What are you thinking right about here?
I'm just thinking, hey, he looks great. I just like waiting for that line to come up there, but I was proud of him. Proud of him.
All right, Lee and Linda DeVisser, congratulations on Jenna's Beach Boy. Sensational season. Best of luck in the future.
Thank you very much.
All right, right now we're going to send it back to Bruce Beck.
All right, Gary, there's a look that we're getting very familiar with. Jenna's Beach Boy and Bill Fay. There was no show wagering. Jenna's Beach Boy returning 260 and 250. Village Connection was second. Liz Ryan was third. The exacta return, $19.10. What a mile. 152 and 4 on a night like this with a monstrous wind. That is impressive. Here's the complete order of finish. Keystone Lowdown was fourth. Nick's Fantasy, the winner of the Little Brown Jug, finished fifth. Hensel Hanover, who won the prep race here at Woodbine last week, finished eighth. Matt Gilligarillo was ninth, and Jody's Cam finished 11th.